Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Makakwadash. I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone, who taught me this truth and rule well. And I want to say Shalom to Akim and Akwath out there pursuing this truth diligently. Coming at you once again with another lesson. This one's titled E-SAU Doing What He's Known For. Wickedness. Okay, now this is some sick shit, man. To put it, to put it bluntly, okay? Because I don't even know what else to say about this. Now I was looking through Google News this morning. I couldn't really find anything, so I went over to CNN, and I found this article. All right, that we're just about to get into. We're dealing with the Russian and Ukrainian war, and hey, man, it's E-SAU doing, really, I could put something else instead of wickedness there, but what they're doing is still wickedness, all right? So we're going to go ahead and get it. This is just a short little lesson, and, man, this is disgusting, all right? And you're going to hear some disgusting shit because we're going to read about it, too. So it says, survivors say Russia is waging a war of sexual violence in occupied areas of Ukraine. Men are often the victims. Ain't that some sick shit? Men are often the victims, so they are performing acts of homosexuality. All right, these Russian soldiers are committing homosexual acts, all right, on these men. All right, these Ukrainian men, which is just, hey, who else but E-SAU, right? Who else but E-SAU? So let's read it. Kyiv says, within an hour of being arrested by Russian security forces, Roman Shapovalenko was threatened with grape. It says on August 25th, 2022, the day after Ukraine's Independence Day, he said 3 armed masked officers from Russia's Federal Security Service stormed into his home in the southern Ukrainian port city of Kherson, which was occupied by Russian forces at the time. It says they turned his house inside out looking for incriminating evidence. A message in Shapovalenko's phone that called Russian soldiers orcs, a derisive reference to the evil forces in J.R.R. Tolkien's Middle-earth books, and a popular Ukrainian slur for the Russian army, was enough for them. He says he was tied up, blindfolded, and stuffed into an unmarked car. For days after, Shapovalenko said he was repeatedly electrocuted in his genital area, threatened with being graped with a glass bottle, and was even made to believe that he could be sterilized. So E-SAU has this weird obsession with fucking, genitals, man. With, wanting to do things to them and all. It's just a bunch of weird shit, man. And they're doing these things to men. So it shows you that these Edomites are really just a bunch of homosexuals at the end of the day. It says, they seemed to have a fetish for genitalia. Sometimes the door would open and they would say, we're going to take out our batons and we're going to grape everyone here, the 39-year-old farm manager told CNN. Describing the graphic detail of his experience, matter of factly, Shapovalenko sometimes paused to laugh nervously. He said his sense of humor is helping with what he knows will be a long recovery. The Russians, he said, hated it. I made a little joke and they didn't like it. I got punched for that. So, and who knows how much of this is actually true, but I absolutely believe the Mo part, because that's the type of shit E-SAU does. They love doing those things. It says Shapovalenko's experience of sexual violence at the hands of Russian forces is common among Ukrainians, including civilians and soldiers who have been detained since Russia launched its full-scale invasion of the country more than 2 years ago. It says human rights monitors have long reported on the rampant use of sexual violence by Russian police and security forces against prisoners and detainees in Russia. Now it seems Russia is exporting the practice to occupied Ukraine. It says, a few men have spoken publicly about their ordeal. Of course, why would you? It says, but Ukrainian prosecutors and rights groups say male victims make up a growing proportion of cases. The crimes often go unreported because of stigma and shame associated with them. The latest United Nations Security Council annual report into conflict-related sexual violence said that 85 cases had been documented in Ukraine in 2023, affecting 52 men, 31 women, 1 girl, and 1 boy. So they're mostly doing it to men, but they're also doing it to women and little boys and girls, which is sick shit, man. And these Russians, they might be a derivative, Magog, but at the end of the day, they're still, cousins to Esau, man. Okay, they're still cousins to Esau. All right, y'all just some cousins. That's it. Same with the Amaleks, right? Amalekites. All right. It says a separate report from the UN rights officials who interviewed 60 male Ukrainian prisoners of war following their release found that 39 were victims of sexual violence while in Russian detention. CNN interviewed 4 male survivors, 2 in person and 2 by phone, and obtained testimonies from 2 or more. It says who were held by Russian units across 5 Ukrainian regions and have been occupied or annexed by Moscow, Kherson, Donetsk, I'm not going to even try to pronounce that one, Kharkiv, and Crimea. All right, because some of these words are hard as hell to pronounce. I probably already butchered some of them anyway. It says all described being subjected to forced nudity, genital electrocution, most often with wires from the Soviet era military field telephone, the TA-57 known as TAPIC, and threats of rape. Okay, it says their accounts tallied with cases documented by regional prosecutors in Kyiv, Kherson, and Kharkiv, and were collaborated by witnesses held in the same detention facilities in Kharkiv and Kherson. Taken together, their stories capture what prosecutors despise as Russia's systemic and continuing use of sexual violence in occupied areas as part of its effort to force the Ukrainian people into submission. It says, we see it over and over again in different regions under occupation. They use the same method of committing sexual violence, the same method of humiliation, if I could speak correctly, the same method of how they explain it to their victims, said Anna Sosanska, a Ukrainian prosecutor and acting chief of the Conflict-Related Sexual Violence Division in Ukraine's Office of the Prosecutor General. It says, speaking to CNN from her office in Kyiv, Sosanska said that a significant number of documented crimes and sexual violence by Russian troops, including forced nudity, genital mutilation, rape, and forced exposure to sexual violence against others, were being carried out against them, especially by using electric current on genitals. That is the top of the list, she said. So it looks the primary one is them, shocking the shit out of your, your cock and balls. So, hey man, that's just some weird. It's just weird shit, man. It's just weird. All right, that's who else but Esau to do something like that, right? So let's go and get Hebrews 12 and 16. It reads, lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. Now, let's go and look up what fornicator means. All right, let's go and get it in the etymology online this time. Let's look up fornicator. All right, fornicate. All right, we'll just look up fornicate. All right, it says to have illicit sexual intercourse. Okay, it says of an unmarried person. That's, ignore that. It says we'll get fornicator. Fornicator. It says the stem of to fornicate. All right, well, let's get going back to fornicate. What else does it say? It says to heat, warm, probably an extension. They don't really have no. Well, this one's fornication talks about lewdness, prostitution, idolatry. Now it says voluntary sex between this is why you can't always, you got to understand the truth, because it says voluntary sex between an unmarried man and an unmarried woman. That's not true. That wouldn't be fornication. That would be marriage. Okay, that would be marriage. See, they don't really understand. Let's go and get the Blue Letter Bible and let's go back into the original language. Okay, the Lashwan Quadash. Or actually, this might be. Let me go and see. Yeah, this is gonna be in Greek instead. Where was fornicator? So it goes back to this word pornos, but we're gonna get a word in a minute that says porneia. All right, and that's really what Esau loves to do. But pornos, okay, it says a man who indulges in unlawful sexual intercourse, a fornicator. Okay, a fornicator. Okay, a male prostitute or a man who prostitutes his body for another lust for hire. That really, you almost, yeah, there it is. Whoremongering yourself. Okay, but this case we're not talking about whoremonger. We're talking about a fornicator. Okay, and Esau is a fornicator, and not as in the fact, oh, unmarried sex. That's not fornication. Okay, Unmarried sex between an unmarried man and an unmarried woman, that is not fornication. That is marriage. Okay? That is marriage. Okay? Time and time again, it is marriage. And it's, if you're going to keep on that fornication bullshit, hey, man, you do you. All right? But it's not, oh, a man can only have one wife. No, there's many biblical stories that proves that's not the case. But anyway, we're not holding up the lesson for you. All right, moving on. Just do your research, man. Read the Bible, and you'll find out there are many men within the Bible that had multiple wives, you fucking dummies. All right, you idiots. All right, so, oh, now he's calling names. Oh, boo-hoo. Go and run and tell your bishop. All right, tell him I'm saying bad words. All right, we're not dealing with you, man. You're obviously not in this truth. You're obviously not of the elect, and we're not holding things back for you because these people, it's anything to get to try to, you know, one up the Hebrew Israelites, or anything to try to make us look bad. Oh, look what they said. Yeah, well, guess what? What does the word again mean? You can't even answer that. All right, you still think that the Savior was born from a sexless relationship, all right, that they never had sex, or that she was a virgin? No, that's stupid. All right, that's not what it meant. Okay, that's not what it meant. So we're not going to talk to someone who has as little knowledge as you, because that's like trying to explain Shakespeare to a 2-year-old. It's just pointless. It's useless. You're just wasting time at that point, man. It's not for you. Move on. Go somewhere else. So it says, and those who want to learn, stay here. You know, sit down and listen. Okay? If you truly want to listen. But some of these people come over here, not just my page, but on all the brothers' pages, and just, you know, rattle their mouth about some dumb shit, and then wonder, whoa, I'm not learning anything. Well, just sit down and shut up if you want to learn. Most people come over here don't want to learn if they're rattling on about some stuff like that. They want to cause a controversy. All right, they want to rattle some people's bones. That's what they really want to do. They want to poke at people and prod at people until they, you know, snap. Oh, look, we got a reaction. Now look at how bad he is. Look, he's evil because he blew up. It's not how it works, man. You can get from around here. So anyway, continuing on, we're going to go to, well, ultimately, we're going to get Galatians 5:19. That's going to deal with that word porneia. So I guess we'll wait. So remember, we touched on the term pornos. All right, but we're waiting for the term porneia, which we'll close out with. And it's going to show you exactly, you know, what type of stuff, you know, is fornication is referring to. Okay? So, and there's one mistranslation in there about, you know, a word. They took the word and they attributed it to something that wasn't talking about it. But we'll touch on that when we get there. So it says, they all laughed. It says, Roman Cherneko said that he spent 7 months in a punishment cell in a prison occupied in Olenivka and the eastern Donetsk region. These fucking names are exhausting to pronounce. It says after he was captured by Russian troops in Mariupol area. The 29-year-old intelligence officer with the Ukrainian military, who goes by the call sign Omen, described being tortured as often as 3 times a day, every day for 4 months. This Tapik is a military phone with 2 wires. Okay, we're gonna actually look it up and give a perspective. I don't even know what it is. I guess these are the 2 wires. Okay, I see it. I guess it just powers it. All right, it's like some type of field telephone. Cool. All right, so I guess they replaced these wires with some other wires, and I guess it emits an electric shock. All right, and this is the exact one here. I don't know. I don't see how. I don't know how they would do it. I guess you would connect it right there or something. But it says, Tapik is a military phone with 2 wires. One is connected to your balls and the other to your finger. And they just keep turning the current up, he told CNN. They just keep twisting it until the person tells them what they need. He says he believes officers from Russia's GRU, the Russian Federal Penitentiary Service, and FSB, Russia's main intelligence agency, all took part in the torture. It says Cherneko was released as part of a prisoner exchange in January 2024 and is still recovering from the ordeal. Speaking to CNN a few weeks after his release, on the day he proposed to his girlfriend, he said it was his thoughts of her and his mother that gave him strength to survive captivity. They laughed when they tortured me. They told me that my mother was being effed by Chechens. I don't know what that is. A Caucasus ethnic group, so I guess they're types of Russian. So it says they basically told him his mother was being fucked by Russians. They took me to be shot twice, and they threatened me with grape, he said. It says, CNN asked Russia's Ministry of Defense, Interior Ministry, FSB, National Guard, and Military Intelligence Agency, known as GRU, or GRU, right, for comment on the allegations of sexual violence in specific detention facilities, but has not received any response. No shit. I'm gonna grab a drink here real quick. All right, so it says, this is a photo taken in Bucha, shows a basement believed to have been used by Russian forces to torture and kill civilians. Ukrainian police said the bodies of 5 men aged between 24 and 54 were found here. And that'd be a terrible place to go, man. Look at that. Imagine, that's an awful place. That's an awful place to go, all right? It's surrounded by brick wall and wires and one light. It's grim. It looks like something from a horror movie, man. Not something, you know, that's judgment. But, you know, it's this... Yeah, it's just, these people are gross, man. It says, rape and sexual violence are explicitly prohibited by the Geneva Conventions, the set of international laws that regulate the conduct of armed conflict, and can constitute a war crime. Mock execution is considered a form of torture under international law. What is mock execution? What the fuck is that? A mock execution is a stratagem in which a victim is deliberately but falsely made to believe that their execution or that of another person is imminent or is taking place. Okay? So that's interesting. Very interesting. Interesting. That's a read for later, maybe. So, let's see. Torture tactic. Interesting. Interesting indeed. It says it's considered a form of torture. All right, so that's considered a form of torture as well. It says, under the Rome Statute of International Criminal Court, ICC, committing rape and sexual violence in a systematic or widespread way is considered a crime against humanity. According to Ukrainian prosecutors in investigating conflict-based sexual violence and abuse, all available evidence indicates that it is a deliberate tactic, part of Russia's modus operandi in Ukraine. It's in every region that was under occupation. You know, we're not going to keep reading on and reading on and reading on, but you know, let's get another scripture. So this shows you, man, the true behavioral characteristics of the Edomites. Okay, it's just like Esau to do something like this. So we got this the other day, but we're going to read it again. Ecclesiastes 14:7 says, and if he doeth good, he doeth it unwillingly, and at last he will declare his wickedness. Because, you know, this Edomite, these guys are not known for doing anything good. If they do anything good, it's unwillingly. Okay, their ultimate goal is to declare their wickedness. They want to be wicked. All right, so we're going to go get this in the Good News Translation because it had a pretty good definition for it. So let's go over there and get it. It's the wrong one. Oh, no, that's the right one. Never mind. So, let's get it. It says, Sirach 14:7, Ecclesiastes, right? The Good News Translation, 14:7 says, when such a person does something good, it's only by accident. His selfishness will sooner or later be evident, all right? These people don't do it by good. They're really selfish, they're really wicked, they're really evil. That's what they want to do at the end of the day. They don't want to do anything good. If they do anything good, it was an accident. All right, and I don't want to say accident per se because it's not really an accident because the Lord wanted that to happen, but for them it would be considered an accident. All right, the Lord had it happen. It wasn't an accident as a whole, okay, but it was accidental for them. Oops, that was an accident. That was supposed to be wicked, but it wasn't an accident for the Lord. The Lord didn't want that to be wicked. He wanted it to come out as something good, so He made it happen as something good. So let's go and get let's try the NLT. It says, oh, that's right. Can't get the NLT. That's right. It's only in the GNT that they have the Apocrypha, unfortunately. So, continuing back, let's get, let's read a little bit more. It says, we're going to probably just skip through some of these. It says they're seeing, or was it? It says we're seeing cases of sexual violence and gender-based violence. The bottom line is that it looks like it's Russian policy. So Sanska said, and they're trying to, really make the Russians look, super, super evil. I mean, which they are because they're Edomites, but this is common shit that happens with all Edomites. This is the type of shit that happens, and it happened in Vietnam. This is the type of shit that happens even when you have help groups go over to Haiti, and they're not even in the military, okay? Disaster support, right? And all that type of shit, and FEMA and all those things. They go over there, and that what do you think happens? They grape little impoverished girls. That's what they do, man. And boys too, because these fuckers are sickos. All right, they all do it. Look at all the people that are going to Epstein's Island and either sacrificing children or diddling them, right? So look what they're doing, man. It seems to just not be a Russian policy. It seems to be a white policy, all right? So-called white policy, an Edomite policy, if you will, right? That's what it seems to be to me, an Edomite policy, right? A so-called white man policy, okay? Because we know that they were buck breaking. They were doing this type of shit during the transatlantic slave trade, man. They're doing the exact type of shit. They were buck breaking young Jake, all right, and doing all sorts of crazy shit, graping him in front of all of the other slaves, all right, to establish dominance or whatever the fuck they want to call it. All right, all that broomstick shit that originated with slavery. All right, now it's in the prison system. All right, shoving broomsticks up people. All right, that's Edomite. Those are things of the Edomite going back. It says Esau is doing what he's known for. Wickedness, and especially wickedness constituting as some form of homosexuality. These people love doing weird stuff with your butt and genitals and attacking you and graping you in weird type of ways. And you got to realize Esau's into all that weird sexual torture, man. Esau is evil like that, okay? If you look back into the term motherfucker, how do you think that term came about? It came about with the slaves, where they would put bags on their head and they would make them unwillingly have sex with their mothers. That's disgusting, man. And it's these Edomites. Look it up. Look it up. The documentation is there. All right. The documentation is there. The documentation about buck breaking is there. All right. But if you look up buck breaking, they're no, that never happened. Watch. I bet if we look it up, it'll say that it never happened. All right. Buck breaking. Okay. Look. The title comes. Look. See here. Ready? It says the title comes from a concept that has made a debut on the internet in early 2010s among fringe radical left-wing black power groups. Okay? Like if we go to buck breaking of slaves, watch, they're gonna say it's not true. Right? Look, was buck breaking real? No. Buck breaking described was not real. Alright, it would have run afoul of sodomy laws. No, it was real. Okay? It was real. It was real. It was real. But they don't want it to make it seem like it was a real thing. But it was a real fucking thing. It was a real thing, man. Okay? But they want to say it didn't happen. Okay? So, on Quora you'll get different information, but no, that never happened. That never happened at all. So, you see them going on and rattling on. Who knows? Is it a modern myth like Mandingo fighting? Mandingo fighting was a real thing. That wasn't a myth either. You fucking idiot. See, these Edomites, man, they'll tell you everything. And you ask these historians that don't know shit. Okay? You don't know shit. Okay? You don't know that Mandingo what these things just came about? No, they were a real thing. But they're the ones that have the power to control history right now. Okay, they can just rewrite things and say, oh no, that never happened. Mandingo fighting never happened. Buck breaking never happened. No, that never happened. Oh, that's not how the term motherfucker came about. No, that never happened. No, yeah, I'm sure none of it ever happened. And slavery never happened. And you never went over there with slave ship. None of that ever happened, right? Hey, everything's been happy forever, ever. Esau's the greatest, right? Woo! That's what you want, right? You want to change all of the shit, right? That's what you want to do. You want to change all of the evil shit that happened. Oh, that never happened. That never happened because now you look real bad. And now you're getting Esau, man, they're getting a taste of the curses because now people are calling them crackers and honkies and colonizers. You fucking colonizer. You fucking colonizer. I tell you, you want to see Edomite mad, call him a colonizer. Ooh, boy, will that piss them off. That will piss them the fuck off, calling them a colonizer. They do not like that. But they're colonizers. Did they not colonize? They did. But call them a colonizer. See how they like it. They don't. They don't like it at all. Okay? So... But they say our people overact because we get called spick or wetback all right, or coon, or whatever other things that they call us, all right, or all these things. They say, you know, you're overreacting. No one's overreacting. You're overreacting, if anything. E. Let's finish up. I got a couple more scriptures. So let's get Leviticus 20 and 13. Most of you already know this one, but we got to get it, right? Leviticus 20 and 13. If a man also lie with mankind as he lieth with a woman, both of them have committed an abomination. They shall surely be put to death. Their blood shall be upon them. You know, they say it's mostly them just, you know, doing a genital torture. But you know, some of them were getting, you know, they said, we're going to get our batons and glass bottles and stick them up. That's gay, man. That is super gay. It says 2nd Esdras 15 and 6. It says, for wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. It's not just Babylon, man. This shit's going out everywhere. Anywhere there's Edomites, and even where there's not Edomites, it's still going down. But Esau is the biggest perpetrator of wickedness, man. And finally, we're going to go ahead and get Galatians 5 and 19 through verse 21. Okay? So that's pretty much it. We'll skim through here and see if there's anything else. It says, one said that they sexually abused at least 17 victims. 24 victims had their genitals electrocuted. Let's see. They were having fun. It seems to just be repeating a lot of different things. Here it is. Look. It says, I was the last one to be taken in for interrogation, so I could hear them all being tortured in the next room. I couldn't hear the conversations, only the screams and the moans. It was impossible to sleep because of these screams, he said, recalling one particularly horrifying incident. I don't know who this man was and what happened to him. He was taken out into the corridor where he was graped with a baton so everyone could hear and see him. Well, how do you know that he was graped by a baton if you couldn't see or hear him? All right. Oh, I guess it was taken out. Okay, I guess it was in the corridor where they could see him instead of being in a different room. I was gonna say, okay, all right. What else? It says Ukrainian prosecutors have recorded incidents, of Russian officials graping or attempting to grape victims using objects including batons, a pipe, a bottle, a handle of a shovel, a stick, and a pin. See, that's it. Yeah, you know, that's just fruity, man. That's just gay. All right, that's some sodomite behavior right there. Let's see. What else? That's pretty much it. If you want to go ahead and read it, you can look it up. But that's it. You see Esau is weird. That's just fruity. Galatians 5 and 19 through 21 says, now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness, idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emulations, wrath, strife, seditions, heresies, envyings, murders, drunkenness, revelings, and such like. And of which I tell you before, as I have also told you in time past, that they which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of Yahweh. So these are Edomites, and they're not going to be, and they're going to be in the kingdom, and they're not going to be enjoying the kingdom. They're going to be in the kingdom as captives. Okay, so they're not going to be enjoying it. But this is for any of the other, who knows? Some of those Russian soldiers could have really been Jake and doing that weird sick shit. So Esau, hey man, that's why you shouldn't follow the ways of these devils, man, because they'll have you doing some weird sicko shit. All right, and finally, we're going to go over here, and we're going to get verse 19. All right, just to show, because we said hang on to that, because we were going to go and grab it later. Well, now it's later. So we're going to get the word fornication right here. Fornication goes back to this word porneia.
Strong's G 4202. Porneia. Porneia.
All right. Illicit sexual intercourse. Right here. Boom. Definition A. Adultery, fornication, homosexuality, lesbianism, intercourse with animals, etc. B. Sexual intercourse with close relatives. C. We're ignoring because it's inaccurate on one part. Sexual intercourse with a divorced woman, not a man. Divorced woman, and that woman being divorced as being a stray from her husband. All right, if she's widowed, that's a different story. Okay, and it can be used metaphorically to the it can be used metaphorically to the worship of idols. So there you go. That's been the lesson. Okay, so Esau doing what he's known for, wickedness, fornication. All right, that's Esau. So with that, we're going to go ahead and close out. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. Once again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakadash. I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone that taught me this truth and rule well. Shalom to you brothers and sisters out there. Keep enduring, keep the faith. We're almost out of here. Until next one, Lord willing. Shalom.